Is Africa on the brink of another war? Two former allies, Ethiopia and Eritrea, are once again staring down the barrel of conflict. A secret letter to the United Nations, accusation of a proxy war, and the battle for control of the Red Sea. What is really happening between Ethiopia and Eritrea? And could it spark a new war in the Horn of Africa? You are watching First Africa Voice, where we tell Africa stories raw, real, and without filters. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name is Paul Lingua. Now, let's dive into the story and break it down together. It all started with a letter. Ethiopia's Foreign Minister Gideon Timotheus sent a warning to UN Secretary-General António Guterres, accusing Eritrea of preparing for war in secret partnership with a hardline faction of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the TPLF. In the letter, Gideon claims Eritrea and the Tigray People's Liberation Front are funding, mobilizing, and directing armed groups in Ethiopia's Amhara region, where deadly clashes have been raging between federal forces and the local Fano militias. The letter, now circulating widely online, warns that Eritrea and Tigray's People Liberation Front hardliners are actively preparing to wage war against Ethiopia. If true, this means Eritrea is already fighting Ethiopia, not on open battlefields, but through the shadows of proxy warfare. At the heart of this rising tension lies one of Africa's most strategic frontiers, the Red Sea. When Eritrea gained independence in 1993, Ethiopia, once a maritime power, lost its coastline. Since then, it has been landlocked, forced to depend on Djibouti for access to global trade. But now, Ethiopia's leaders want that access back. In recent months, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has made it clear the Red Sea and the River Nile are essential to Ethiopia's survival. That statement sends shockwaves across the region and raised alarm bells in Eritrea. Could Ethiopia's push for Red Sea access be the spark that reignites one of Africa's deadliest rivalries? Ethiopia and Eritrea share a long bloody history. Between 1998 and 2000, the two nations went to war over the border town of Badme, a brutal conflict that left over 70,000 people dead. Then came a period of hope. In 2018, Abiy Ahmed rose to power and made peace with Eritrea's president Isaias Afwerki. The world celebrated the handshake. Abiy even won the Nobel Peace Prize for ending the war. But that peace didn't last. The Tigray War in 2020 reopened deep scars, and today the Red Sea dispute has turned friendship into suspicion. Now, Ethiopia accuses Eritrea of funding rebels in Amhara. Eritrea accuses Ethiopia of expansionism, and both sides are on high alert for what could be the horn of Africa's next big conflict. The Ethiopian government says Eritrea has joined forces with a Tigray People's Liberation Front faction led by Debretsion Gebremichael, the same man who once led Tigray's war against Ethiopia. According to Ethiopia's letter, Eritrea and the Tigray People's Liberation Front are helping Fano militias capture towns like Woldia in the Amhara region. Gebremichael denies the claims, calling them fabricated stories meant to distract from Abiy's failures to implement the Tigray peace deal. Meanwhile, Eritrea's information minister Yamin Gebremichael fired back, calling Ethiopia's statement crass, pathetic, and bizarre. The message from Eritrea is clear: don't touch the Red Sea. But what happens when a landlocked giant insists it must reclaim the sea, and the neighbor controlling it refuses to blink? The United Nations has now been officially notified. Diplomats are quietly monitoring the Horn of Africa, fearing another devastating war in a region already scarred by conflict, drought, and hunger. A new war between Ethiopia and Eritrea wouldn't just be about borders. It will reshape trade routes, alliances, and security across East Africa. Djibouti, Sudan, Somalia, even global powers like the US, Russia, and China all have stakes in what happens next. For now, both nations are talking tough, but history tells us in this part of Africa, talk can tend to gunfire overnight. Could Ethiopia's dream of reaching the Red Sea trigger a regional war? And what lessons does Africa keep ignoring from its own history? Ethiopia's Red Sea obsession is more than a strategic move. It is a symbol of pride and survival for a nation of 120 million people. But for Eritrea, that coastline is its lifeline and its sovereignty. Two leaders, two narratives, one dangerous frontier. What should Africa do? Africa should lead loudly, quickly, and collectively to prevent a full-blown war between Ethiopia and Eritrea. That requires immediate de-escalation, AU-led mediation, neutral monitoring, humanitarian preparations, and a regional political solution over access to the Red Sea that reduces incentives for violence. If African leaders move early, firmly, and together, prioritizing diplomacy and creating economic solutions for the Red Sea question, they can defuse a crisis that would otherwise have catastrophic human and regional economic costs. If they delay, local skirmishes and proxy dynamics could escalate into a wider conflict with devastating consequences for the Horn and global trade routes. Unless diplomacy prevails, the Horn of Africa could soon face a storm that might spill far beyond its shores. War has no winners, only lessons. The question is, has Africa learned from its past, or are we about to repeat it? This is First Africa Voice, telling Africa stories that matters most. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because Africa's story deserves to be heard. Let's hear your voice in the comment section, because we do know that far as there are more men on earth, certainly there are more opinions. Until next time, think for Africa, stand for Africa, and keep your voice loud. Well, the dew of the day has crept upon our thoughts, and nature must obey its necessity. Here is where we bring down the curtains. Until we meet again, my name is Paul Lingua, the Africa orator.